Yes, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV. It is a very sunny Wednesday afternoon. It's 5 p.m. and that means it's time for SAVVA Lubo Ask Us Anything. Lots going on in the world today. Lubo, are you okay? How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Weather's nice again, isn't it?
It's
dreary yesterday. It's nice again. All's good in the world.
Glorious. England are playing. The England under-21s are currently playing in is it the semi or the quarters or semi-final? They're playing right now. I've got that on in the background, so I'll keep anybody updated.
Huh? Who are they playing? France, is it?
No, it's Netherlands. We're playing the Netherlands.
Okay.
So it's England versus the Netherlands. And let's see. I haven't seen the 11. I'm guessing that your mate Archie Gray is not in the team because he's shit. Let's have a look. Archie Gray, is he in the team? Here we go. England. Hang on. What do you reckon? Do you reckon he's in the lineup?
He didn't play. He didn't start last match, so they'll probably keep the same team, I would think.
Yeah. It's Livramento, Cresswell, Hinshelwood and Quansah, McAtee, Hutchinson and Anderson, Elliott, Stansfield and Scott. So that's your 11. No Archie Gray again. So Lubo will be very unhappy about this. In the world of football today, it looks like Mbeumo is closer than ever to joining Manchester United, according to Ornstein and Romano. Looks like it's going to be 60 million plus add-ons for the Brentford forward. And it also looks like Arsenal are about to sign Norgard. So Brentford losing two of their best players in the same week, having lost their manager the week before. Are things falling apart at Brentford? Let me start, Lubo. Are you disappointed that the likes of Mbeumo and Norgard, that we've taken their manager, that we're not in for these players? We've not bid. We're not in talks with them. Are you disappointed?
What's Daniel doing after that chat with Vinay? You know what I mean? How are we going to win the league? He's promised us, hasn't he? Premier League, and he's missing players already. Poor show. Come on, Daniel. Pull your finger out, boy. Poor show so far. Come on. Get started. Get going. Let's start signing some players.
So let me go back to my original question. Disappointed then about the likes of Norgard and Mbeumo before you just turned it into Daniel Levy?
Let's, as I said, let's get some players. Let's get some business done. Come on, Dan. You can get it all agreed. If it helps you with the books to put them into next year, into starting July the 1st, get it all set up. Maybe he has. Maybe he's going to come out with some blockbusters on July the 1st. Sir. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe he promised us. He promised us.
It's just so frustrating, isn't it? You've got, two of Brentford's best players. Norgard and Mbeumo. Norgard's going at 12 million euros. That's what, 10 million pounds for a seasoned midfielder that, for me, would do a wonderful job slotting into our midfield. Gives Arsenal squad depth.
Well, he could have done the same sort of job that Edgar Davids did, or Nabet did, before him. So,
yeah, it's really, really poor. But big up, welcome to all of you lot. Not many questions, guys. Get your questions in before I start asking them. Get your questions in, as England just have a great chance to go 1-0 up with Harvey Elliott. A good save by the Dutch keeper. Get your questions in. Guys, you're very quiet in the chat today. Get your questions in. Get your comments in. And smash the like button. We've only got 35 likes from 144 people that are in here and growing. So smash that button. So yeah, as I said, Kepa today has joined Arsenal. That we've had the here we go. We're nearly getting the here we go for Norgard to Arsenal. We're nearly getting the here we go for Mbeumo to Man United. We're hearing, I've seen reports in the last few hours about Jonathan David again being on Spurs' radar. I genuinely don't know at this stage. Lubo, before we go to the questions, I'm just concerned that it's not that we haven't bought anyone yet, because I kind of know that deals aren't going to be done until the 1st because of the financial year. But isn't it more worrying that we're just not actually in talks with anyone? Like, you know, the Ornsteins, the Romanos, they're not coming out and saying Spurs are in talks with XYZ. It's just nothing. It's lots of rumour.
Well, in fairness, those two didn't know anything about the Japanese boy, did they?
Yeah, but I'm not counting that as a...
No. The point I'm making is that Spurs bought a player and those two weren't aware of it. So they might not be aware of other conversations that are going on. They don't know everything.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that? Knowing how long you supported Spurs, do you believe that?
It's possible. It's possible. Do I believe it? Who knows? But it's possible. There must be conversations going on. There must be. You know, this is the with a thumbnail. No, that's fine. That's
the picture he bloody sent me, Rob. He sent me the picture. I can't do it dirty. I don't have a library of pictures for Lubo. Yeah, look, it's all a bit crazy at the moment. I feel like the one thing we all needed was something early doors, something out the trap, something that showed, hey, this is what we're about this window. You know, we all said Frank's coming in. We'll name a good signing shortly after. And what we've done since then is Matisse Tell and Takai. And I just feel like we are falling so much further behind the big clubs, aren't we? It's getting silly now. It's a chasm, isn't it? It's a chasm between the big 4, 5 and us.
Well, I think that first of all, I had to get Frank Deal put to bed. Then they've got to talk. You know, they would have known what players he's looking for. It's as Daniela says, it's not an easy. No deal is easy.
Sure.
And all, it's like a jigsaw puzzle, isn't it? All the pieces have got to fall into place. And then you got your picture. You got the full picture. So, listen, Daniel promised us, so I'm relying on him.
Yeah, then that can't be the answer to every question I ask you, though, Lupo. Or it won't really be a very good show, will it? It really won't be a good show if the answer is always Daniel Levy. Look, I'm just disappointed. When I saw that Arsenal were in for Norgard, I thought it's just sensible. Now, I know what Spurs fans will do. We'll start comforting ourselves with, but he won't get into their first 11 and he's not as good as Partey. But what Arsenal have done is they've lost Jorginho and Partey and replaced them with Zubimendi and Norgard. Yeah. And so like that. 2 out, 2 in, senior pros. Zubimendi, Spanish international. You've got Norgard, Danish international, seasoned Premier League pro. Kepa as the number 2. We're a mess.
No, but Zubimendi took him long enough, and he was going to go to Real Madrid at one point. So that deal wasn't a straightforward. That took months. That took months in the making, didn't it?
Sure, but it took months in the making, and he's in the first week of the transfer window.
Yeah, sure.
So if you plan,
no, but Arteta was Arsenal knew Arteta was going to be the manager several months ago. This coming season. It's slightly different situation. If this was 12 months' time, you'd have expected Frank during the early part of this year to have identified targets for the following season.
I've heard that we were in talks with Frank since like March, so I'm not really gonna. I'm not buying that. There can't always be an excuse for why we're so bad in the market, can there? There can't always be.
No, we know. Listen, we know why we don't close deals, don't we? We know why we don't close deals.
But hang on, it's not even about closing deals. What deals? What are we in for? We're not in talks. Like we're not.
No, but we don't know, do we? As you said on one of your shows, clubs speak to agents. Is your player? Would he be interested? We don't know how many agents have been approached so far, do we?
Yeah, but Lubo, I don't think you're listening to me. I'm not talking about approaching agents. I'm talking about being in negotiations. Like I'm talking about where are the, where's our signing that wakes the fans up? Where's our signing where you go, right, boom. And yes, it's the end of June, but I'm seeing Arsenal, Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Man United, the big 5, all of the other 5 of the big 6, if you will, are all making good. Look at Man United, Cunha and Mbuemo.
But
Can you imagine what those two would do to us?
United are a brand, aren't they? United go after a player, and more often than not, they'll get him. Man United, they're on a different level to us.
I understand that, but come on, like, there can't be an excuse for everything we do at Tottenham. There's got to be like, listen, we're not Man United, but we're a big football club. surely we've got more in us than Tell and Takai, haven't we? Surely
they don't just blaze in and close deals quickly, Spurs. That's not how they do it. While this owner's there, it'll never be that way. Chelsea, Pedro Neto. While we're discussing shit with Wolves, Chelsea breathes straight in, bang, 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 deal done. Spurs blown out of the water last summer. That's what happens. We don't close deals quickly. They're not done.
I hear you. My point is, I just don't even see us in for deals with anybody right now. That's the problem. Like, I'm confused. If we haven't bid for Mbeumo and we haven't bid for Norgard, I'm asking the powers that be why. These are two of Thomas Frank's best players. They're his signings. They're his guys. How on earth have we sat back? Listen, I'm not saying they pick us over them, but I'd at least like to know that we had a horse in the race. I'd at least like to know that, you know, like everyone said, oh, Spurs have bid for Mbeumo. I haven't seen any reputable source say Spurs have bid X, Y, Z for Mbeumo. It's, oh, we might have had a chat. You know, Cunha. Were we even interested in a player like Cunha? I don't know. Were we interested in Norgard? You know, were we interested in Liam Delap? I don't know. It's just like everyone else out there seems to go. Listen, Man City have bought good, smart players. Cherky was from Lyon. Ait Nouri from Wolves. Reinders from a very crap AC Milan. You know, Liverpool have bought what? Kirkes from Bournemouth. You know, Frimpong from Bayer Leverkusen. You know, there's a whole world of footballers out there. And I'm like, what are we doing so far? Tell and Danso. And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake. My confidence and my newfound energy, I'll be honest, is starting to sap. I will be honest. It's starting to sap. I just don't know what we're going to do again this window.
You'll be on the floor in 9 weeks then. We've got 9 weeks to go. Seriously. Let's wait and see. Wait and see.
Yeah. Do you know what, though? If I had £1 for every time someone said wait and see down the last 25, 30 years, I'd be a millionaire. I've just got this feeling. I've just got this horrible feeling. Tell is going to be our forward signing. You know, Takai is going to be the only defender we bring in unless Romero goes. I don't know. It's just I'm very underwhelmed. I'm very, very underwhelmed right now. So I've gone back to old SAVVA. Let's get a first question in. There's a few questions. Let me go to the chat. Let's have a look. Where are we? 1 second. Just quickly. Daniela said, SAVVA LUBO, the deal, maybe the deal for Thomas Frank and team was you don't go in for Brentford players. No one signs a deal like that. No one signs a deal like that. Why would they do that? Even Daniel Levy's not that silly. Now, right, you can have our manager and all our staff. You're not allowed to try and sign any of our players. Big up to my man, Aaron Lawrence said this transfer window is pissing me off. Listen, let's go to a question. Before we do, all I'm going to say is just something to give us belief. Just something, because right now it just looks as shit as always. Takai, Danso and Tell. It's so shit. It's just shit.
Sav, your man Perchy rates the Japanese boy very highly.
Listen, it's not that I've watched videos. He looks good. He looks decent. But again, he's not going to come straight into the 11. Danso doesn't come straight into the 11. No. Tell, if he does come straight into the 11, we're not buying better players than what we've got. That's the worry. That is the massive worry. We're not buying anyone where you go, yeah, first team, bang, you. Hang on, breaking news, Ben Jacobs. Let's have a look. I just want to double check if that's now before we go to a question. Ben Jacobs. So he said Ben Jacobs hasn't tweeted in the last couple of hours about Mbeumo. He did about 4 hours ago. You mean about 4 hours ago? Big up to Paul Watkins, who's gifted a Football Heritage TV membership. Really, really appreciate that. That membership has gone to Theo Dina. Big up to you, Theo. I'm sure you'll say thank you to Paul. Thank you very much, Paul. Really appreciate that. And also big up to Ryan. Very generous. We'll start with this question because obviously it's a massive super chat. So thank you very much. And Ryan, tell these people who are all very, very, very tight. 60 likes. We're getting so bad on this channel at smashing that like button. Got to smash it, guys and girls. SAVVA Lubo, when Eze gets done, oh, dearie me. When Eze gets done, what men do we get in after? I would love to see experienced players, but who would you both love to see and how many? Lubo, I mean, straight away, when Eze gets done is how I'm starting that one. When? Shouldn't it be if?
If he moves, I'd like to think we're there.
Yeah.
All the reports coming out say that Frank likes him as a player and wants him. Let's see. Let's see if Daniel and Vinny are gonna put these deals together and get us up the league. Let's see. Who would I want alongside Eze? If you can't get Mbuemo, you get Semenya. So they're your two forwards. Semenya would also help Solanke because they played together and dovetail well at Bournemouth. Polinia and in the six. And then you're looking at cover for left back, stroke left centre.
No, I'm going to stop you. No cover. Let's buy footballers. Let's buy senior pros. Why cover? Why cover?
Well, because he'll start, if he starts as a 4, the chances are he'll start Udogie at left back. And if he starts as a 3, he'll play Udogie as a wing back. Unless he's going to get a top, Douglas Luiz is a good shout as well. Who are you going to bring in? That's better than Udogie that's out there at left back?
Many people. Udogie was fucking awful last season. He was awful last season. Every time we talk about players, we want backups, a cover. Like I want like going back to Ryan's question, I want senior pros who come in and we go bang straight in the first team.
What you want is somebody who can come in and replace, and you haven't got a Van der Ven, Ben Davies situation. You've got more like a Romero Danso situation, where the gap is much smaller in ability, and you know that Danso will come in and do a really good job.
Yeah, I don't want any more backups. I don't want any more backups being bought. We've bought Tell, we've bought Takai, we've bought Danso. Like more backups. So what we're doing every window is buying backups.
Let's not call them backups. Let's call them squad players.
But then
backup. You'll have box office on.
You're the one who has a go at Daniel Levy, and all you're mentioning is backups. Like
no, but if you buy 3 quality established players, and you spend, I don't know, 150 million, would you say that is a good window for Spurs? If you buy Eze, Semenyo, and Paulinho, wouldn't you say that's a good transfer?
If we bought Eze, Semenyo, and Paulinho?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah?
I'd call that a good window, depending on who else they bring in. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want Kyle Walker-Peters. I don't want it to be Eze, Semenyo, Paulinho, but then we've bought Takai, Tell, and Kyle Walker-Peters, because then all you're doing is buying 50% first-team players, 50% deadwood that will be sold in a couple of years. I don't know. I just feel like we're doing it again.
I wouldn't call Danso deadwood.
I didn't mention Danso. Danso.
You mentioned 3, and then you said Danso, Walker-Peters, and whoever as listen. How many do we
hire like this? Yes. No, he's all over Udogie.
He's an excellent left back. I mean, if you're going to play a back 4, he's your man to bring in.
Yeah. I'm just Yeah, right now I'm giving the transfer window a 2. Right now I'm giving it a 2. I need to see who we bring in, but right now, Dance Hotel and Takai is very Spurs.
Well,
It's very, very Spurs.
Dan Stonetel are just clearing up last season's business, isn't they? We've just bought the Japanese boys so far.
Well, no, we've bought Dance Hotel. Let's not.
No, but they were pretty much done. You know, it was all ready and lined up, wasn't it? So we knew they were joining. We knew they were joining. I'm talking about new players that are going to come into the squad. There we go. That's what we said. Polina Semenya.
Yeah, I just don't trust Spurs. Honestly, the last couple of days, it's just creeped back into me as to why I hate the way Spurs are run. I genuinely thought that we'd at least be in conversation for people like Mbuemo, and I think the Norgard ones tipped me over the line because I said, do you know what? Go to Brentford, get Norgard. Get Norgard for 2 years as an experienced pro, sit in our midfield, knows how Thomas Frank plays. And then Arsenal nip in and get him for 12 million euros. Just like, it's like we're asleep at the wheel. I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm in a mood tonight about it. I am in a mood about Spurs tonight. I just, after I saw the Tell deal, I was deflated. Danso, I'm comfortable with as a backup.
Squad player. Don't say backup. You'll have box office on for you.
Squad players. Yeah. Dave Jones Spurs said, I would like us to be ruthless and get rid of our front three of Son, Richarlison, Solanke, getting Jonathan David, Samu from Port and someone else. Well, listen, there's a question about Jonathan David, so we'll get to that in a minute. But big up to Ryan Trestane. Thank you so much, buddy, for your super chat. Hopefully it caused a bit of a spark and a debate between me and Lubo there. Let's go to another, and big up again, Paul Watkins. Thank you very much for that, mate. Really appreciate that. Good question from Angeball here. He said, big up lads and chat. Why aren't we snapping up Jonathan David for 25 million now? Now, just to confirm for anybody, Jonathan David is a free transfer, but wants 15 million himself as a signing on fee. And then I believe the fee is roughly 10 million for his agent. So it does work out to about 25, 30 million euros. Seems like a no-brainer for many clubs, this one, Lubo, but he hasn't gone anywhere yet.
Surprising, isn't it? Scored 9 goals in the Champions League season just finished. That's quality. That's a quality striker.
Mm.
There aren't many players that scored more than him last season in the Champions League. So for me, no, definitely bring him in. He would be an upgrade on Solanke and Richarlison. No question about it. Yeah, no, it's a strange one because I think Jonathan David's got many weaknesses to his game. Like, I'm not looking at him as that workhorse that battles against centre halves and presses, but he is a goal scorer. In his career, he is a guy that when he goes through on goal, you think he's going to get the ball and he's going to drill it low into the corners. He's going to finish. And we don't have one of them. If you had him in a 4 with Eze, Semenya and Maddison, you'd be quite happy with that 4, wouldn't you?
Eze left, or just starting left, if we will. Eze left, Semenya right, Maddison through the middle, and Jonathan David up front. How does that revolutionise Spurs?
Pretty good. That would be pretty good, wouldn't it? Compared to what we got now. Sonny, you got to sell. Sonny, you got to sell. Johnson would be a very, very good squad player. Solanke was okay last season, but we need an upgrade.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Angeball, look, for me, I think it's a no-brainer. I don't know. I'm hoping we get a striker. I really am. Sorry. Perchie's just sent me a. I just saw it said, I fucking love this club, right? And then when I've looked at what he sent, it's an article from Football London by Alistair Gold that says the 9 Tottenham wonder kids that Thomas Frank is set to make decisions on this summer. And if anything sums up Tottenham, it's that, right? Wonder kids. There's not a fucking wonder kid at the club. I don't know what we're doing here. Angeball, listen, I'm with you, mate. I really hope we go and buy Jonathan David. I think we need a striker. Lubo, can we agree if we go into next season with Solanke and Richarlison as the two forwards, we've not had a good window, have we? That would be very, very underwhelming for Champions League.
Well, I think Richie will definitely go. I think Everton are very strong on him. We will need an upgrade on Solanke, who would replace, in terms of numbers, would replace Richarlison. So,
sorry, just quickly, Madsy. Sorry, Norgard and Robinson, and you think they're improvements? Yes, on R11, absolutely. Yes, Robinson's been a very good Premier League right back for years, and Norgard's a very good, solid midfielder who gives you 7 or 8s every game compared to our midfielders who are very hit and miss. What do you make of this, Lubo?
No, I think, listen, Robinson is a left back, yes, if he's playing a back four. If he's playing wing backs, then for me, Udogie all day long. Norgard, again, we need experience.
Can I ask why? Because Robinson's just had the most assists from any defender in the country, if I'm not wrong. Why Udogie over Robinson in that instance? I think Udogie is as bang average as they come, if I'm honest.
I think he was one of the best players in his position in Italy. I think, like with a lot of players, he's gone backwards instead of forwards because of Ange. And I think with a proper coach, I think Thomas Frank will get Udogie back to the form that he was showing in Italy. He was superb in Italy. He was fantastic. You used to watch the games. He was just superb. So now I'm looking forward to seeing him. We're not going to buy Robinson anyway. I don't see us buying Robinson. Do you?
No, I don't see us buying him, but I mean, I'm looking at him. He's got 10 assists last season from left back. Yes, please. I'm taking that all day long. All day. I think he's superior to. Listen, and again, we blame Ange for everything, but some of these players, we don't know how they would have progressed. I'm not the biggest fan of Udogie. I think he's a clumsy, very clumsy footballer who can't defend. That's my worry, is that he can't defend. Well, but we'll see. We'll see.
I must tell you, second half, we were literally along the side in Bilbao, watching right in front of us, Ahmad and Udogie. And I thought Udogie played him brilliantly.
Sure. When you put 10 men behind the ball and you're asking him to do absolutely nothing.
I think, it was a great battle, and Udogie came out on top easily. I think it was superb.
We must have been watching a different game because Diallo got in cross and shots, and we watched a different game, me and you.
He got inside him. I'm talking about second half, because the first half was way down in the other corner and we couldn't see 100% clearly. But right in front of us, second half, I thought he did. Apart from one defence splitting ball that Bruno put in behind Udogie, I thought he handled him very well. Very well.
Yeah, see, I think there's a difference, though. When you're playing 10 men behind the ball and asking your defender to defend, that's fine. But when you're asking your defender to not play 10 men behind the ball and you're asking him about his positional sense, marking his player, being in the right place, timing his tackle, I've not seen anything in 2 years from Udogie that tells me he's that good. But I keep hearing he's good. He's good.
He's not a coach for 2 years, is he? Let's be fair. Come on.
Can't be the excuse for
chaos. It's chaos. It's chaos. He's in the wrong position. He's making the wrong runs because he's told to play in a certain position. So nonsense. The whole thing was chaos. Complete chaos.
I agree, but that doesn't mean that everyone would have naturally got better. This is the problem now. We're blaming Ange for every player. Some of these players just aren't as good as you make them out to be, I don't think.
If you look at them playing for other teams before they join, and you see how good they are, and then you come and see them play for us, these players don't just drop off for no reason. What do? Put on the white shirt and just drop off performance-wise? It's down to the coaching. There was no coaching. It was appalling.
I agree.
Just dreadful.
I agree. But you do know that Udogie didn't play left back in Italy. You know Udogie wasn't a left back in Italy. So this Udogie that you thought you saw in Italy
he was a wing back, wasn't he?
He was a wing back.
He was a wing back. Conte loved him. Conte brought him in to play his system.
By the way, Adam, I will boot you out if you just start trying to spread rumours. Stella and I are bickering so much that behind the scenes, we're becoming partners on building a new channel. That's how much Stella and I are bickering. Isn't that right, Lubo?
Absolutely.
We've started a new channel coming to you soon. Lubo, Johnny, Stel, Sean, and I. That's how much we're bickering. So please don't spread your shit, or you will be blocked. Am I dissing Adogi? You are dissing Adogi. No, I just want to see something from him. I don't think he's good defensively. I don't think Porro's good defensively. I've got question marks about a lot of the players, which I'm allowed to have, right? Big up to Ryan, who's coming again, very generous. Said, Lubo, what players would you want to walk into the first team right away? Because we have too many backup players, and I want names who you think walk into the team.
Well, I think I just told you. Eze, Jonathan David, Paulinho, Semenya. There's 4 straight in. That changes the whole dynamic. That changes the whole dynamic of the team, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look. I mean, Ryan, he did say that the first time around. I think the reason you asked that again is because I kind of chastised Lubo about him talking about backups and substitute players. But yeah, I think we both agree. Lubo, if I was to say from this selection, I'll just give 7 or 8 players. Let me know if you'd be happy with these. So we've talked about, we'd like Eze. I'd be happy with a Semenyo. I'd be happy with a Kudus. I'd be happy with a Paulinho. I'd be happy with, I'm just trying to think of central midfielders with experience that I would like. I'd be happy with, who would I be happy with in midfield? God, I can't even think off the top of my head at the moment. I'd be happy with Jonathan David. I'd be happy with Robinson, as I just said there. For me, I think you've got to have a lot of players that play different positions. But listen, yeah, Ryan, look, I think we're in agreement. What we can't do is just sign substitutes and backup players this window. We can't. Yeah, I keep saying, Lubo, it's about optics. It's okay if you get a Kyle Walker-Peters if in between signing Kyle Walker-Peters, you've gone and got Eze and Semenyo. Do you know what I mean? You know, but if your next signing is Walker-Peters, fans are going to go, what the fuck, aren't they? Let's be honest. They're going to go Takai, Tell, Walker-Peters, Danso, and people are going to riot. People will riot. That will be the optics, Lubo. Thanks, Ryan.
Okay.
That'll be the optics. Aaron, I said, Solanke is crap. Awful signing, especially the price we paid. We go into the Champions League with him as our main striker. We're getting laughed at. Aaron, I mean, Lubo, I've always said I don't think he's crap. I just think he's as average as they come. I think it was I've said before, I felt like Dominic Solanke was a very lazy signing. One thing is for sure, that can't be your main striker in a Champions League campaign. Is that fair? It can't be.
No, you would think Spurs would buy again. But Solanke will be better this season. I think he'll be a lot better under Frank. I think Frank will give him purpose. He won't have him running all over the place. Starting lineups for Burnley. Solanke will improve, particularly if Semenya comes in, because the one really good year that Solanke had was with Semenya wide of him. So, we'll see. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Yeah.
Gibbs White would be a great shout. Elliot Anderson, my friends up in Newcastle were gutted that he left Newcastle beginning of last season. Absolutely sick. They thought he was fabulous, and he's done such a good job at Forest. So
he's done very, very well, hasn't he? Lubo doesn't have a channel, but he will have a channel very, very shortly as part of a new channel we're putting together. It's called the Spurs 5. It's called the Spurs 5. Myself, Lubo, Stel, Sean, and Johnny. And we're going to have 2 weekly panel shows for you, all the build up for games, pre-match, post-match reactions. There's going to be a lot going on there. We're going to do some live shows, as in all together in the same place, all that kind of stuff. So just watch out, people. Just watch out. It's coming. Just give it a bit of time. It takes a while to get these things sorted behind the background, and we'll get there.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. So big up to you. Thank you to Ryan. Really appreciate that, Ryan. Really appreciate you. Very generous today. Thank you very much, mate. And as I said, if Ryan can be generous with the super chats, You lot can smash the like button. Still only 115 likes. Come on, guys. I get bored of asking, but it's my business. I need to promote it. And if you lot aren't liking it, it's not going around the internet for more people to see it. Big up to Emma Morton, who has sent in a super sticker. Big up to you, Emma. Really appreciate you. You've been very generous lately. Thank you very much for the super sticker. That is very, very generous. Wayne Holland, big up, Wayne, our resident Leicester City fan, who we should all be thanking, because if it wasn't for his team, we might have got relegated. So thank you to your team being absolutely busted and finishing in 18th. He said, what makes you think you'll sign Eze for 60, Semenyo 70, and Paulinho 35? When has Levy ever sanctioned 165 million on 3 players? It's got a point.
Well, it is a good point, but Ange spent 400 million in 2 years.
Sure.
400 million. Maybe not on a smaller number of players. We probably bought about 35 for that. But because they just buy cheap and low wages, and maybe, just maybe, 17th place gave Levy a shock, and he realised this can't carry on. I'm sure he was thinking, I haven't built a £1 billion stadium to be 17th in the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I agree. I mean, look, on that point, to play devil's advocate, that 400 million wasn't spent, all on big players. I think the point the point that Wayne is making there is that's 3 players at 165 million. Like it's 150 million, whatever. We just don't do that. Levy doesn't do that, does he? He's got a point.
Well, listen, it's proven to be wrong, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah,
no, absolutely.
Right. Bill's right. Tottenham fans don't right. I wish Tottenham fans had a bit more passion overall. There'd be a lot more marching against the owners when we have these protest marches, rather than 2,500 out of 50.
And it would do absolutely nothing because you all pay to go into the stadium afterwards.
Well, listen, you support your team, hate the regime. That's how I look at it.
Sure. But you're still supporting the regime by paying the regime. We're always going to disagree on this one. I don't think protesting does anything. I don't think it does
He's not going to push me up from watching my team. That's how I look at it.
Let's have a look. Next question. Big up to Wayne. Thanks for that. Here we go. Spurs Naples. Sorry. I said Douglas Luiz is valued around 25 million. How would you rate that double pivot of Luiz and Bentancur? Or a monster 6 with a ball playing and a defending like Luiz? Lubo?
I'd take Douglas Luiz all day long.
Yeah, me too.
Thought it was superb for Villa. Hasn't worked out so well for him at Juve. Otherwise, he wouldn't be on the market. And Juve aren't short of money either. So, no, Douglas Luiz all day long. If we didn't get Paulinho, Luiz would be more than an ample replacement.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's exactly what we need. And again, I'm going to use this word that I keep using. He's a man. He's a physical athlete. He's strong. He's strong in the tackle. He's good with the ball. He's been there, seen it and done it. Played for big clubs, played for his country. Signings like that, it drives me mad that we're not linked with players like that.
The perfect example of a strong, athletic, physical midfield that win their battles was Newcastle's in the Carabao Cup final against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Where they absolutely killed them. Bruno, Tonali and Joelinton. Just killed it.
Yeah. By the way, you can't find it yet. You can't find it just yet. Patience. It's coming. It's coming. Trust me, I'm as impatient as the next person, as Lubo will tell you, but it is coming. It is coming soon.
Don't worry. We will get there.
We will get there. And I think what you're going to see, guys, is you're going to see that no echo chambers. Look how we row. We row like cats and dogs. You're going to have 5 big personalities that all have very different views on the manager, all have very different views on the owners, all have different views on football, all have different views on protest. It's going to be fireworks. So just be patient, and it's coming. But yeah, listen, I I agree with you. I think when you look at teams, if we look at the two teams that in the last few years have started to gate crash the big six, if you will, Lubo, Villa and Newcastle both have powerful midfields, don't they?
Yeah.
When you look at Villa with Kamara, McGinn, Tielemans, and Nana, and then Newcastle with Joe Linton, Guimaraes, Tonali. Before that, they had Anderson and Longstaff. They're all powerful athletes. Then I look at Spurs, and it's all very weak. I think, would that be fair? It's just a bit powder puff, isn't it?
It is
a bit powder puff.
It is a bit. It is a bit.
So, and that's why I'm a fan of Norgard. I like Norgard. I think he's got that physical presence, plus he's good on the ball. So, listen, I think it's a good signing. Luis could potentially come if he finally got rid of that annoying footballing girlfriend. I don't care about all that stuff. I care about how good they are on the pitch.
Listen, I'm more than happy if Gyökeres comes and joins his girlfriend at Tottenham. Plays for Spurs ladies.
Yeah.
That'd be a good double act, wouldn't it?
I've got a feeling the reason Arsenal have gone cheap, and what I mean by cheap, you call it a bargain, whatever you want, with Norgard, I think the bulk of their money this window is going on that centre forward, isn't it?
Yes, for sure.
The bulk, they paid what, 55, was it 50, 55 for Zubamendi? They pay 70, 80 for Gyökeres or Sesko. They've bought Kepa. Looks like they're getting Norgard.
How much was Kepa on a free, or was he bought?
£5 million. £5 million.
So then end up spending about 150, 160 million across those four players.
Yeah.
They don't need too much else, to be fair.
Let's see what they do. I mean, but at the moment, what I'm jealous of is these clubs are actually moving quick. That's what I'm jealous of. But hey, it is what it is. Let's go to Andrew. Big up to Andrew. I think grew up where I grew up in Lee Green. Big up to you, my man. For anyone who doesn't know Lee Green, it's just down from Lewisham. So if you step to the right of Lee Green, you've got Blackheath, which is very well-to-do, very nice. You won't get stabbed. If you go just to the left, you go to Lewisham, you might get stabbed. So you've got to kind of weigh up your options when you're a youngster. As where my mum would say to you, where are you going? Oh, Blackheath. I wasn't going to Blackheath. I was going to Lewisham. You know how it is. Anyway, Andrew said, who would you take as a monster six? I love the way now when we talk about sixes, we always a monster six. Who would you take as a monster six, SAVVA and Lubo, that are available? Lubo, I guess.
Aren't they? Paulinho and Luis are both available.
I guess the word available is subjective, right? Because most players in the world will be available depending on who wants to buy them, and price and salary and stuff like that. So for me, I think we've missed out on a gem, by the way, guys. I think we've missed out on Richie of Torino, who's in talks with AC Milan right now, 22 years of age. He's a top player. Players like that, you've got Edison, Paulinho, you've got Douglas Luiz, that Arden Jashari. Oh, gosh. Hijack that deal.
40 million, I think they're asking, aren't they?
Yeah. Milan have had a bid rejected today for 27 million euros plus 5 million add-on.
Well,
how good is he, though, Lubo? How good is he?
Great player. Fabulous player. I sent you the video, didn't I?
Oh. I was watching this man's passing going, do you know what I did? I put it on YouTube. I saw some of his passes and I went, did I just see that? And I had to rewind 10 seconds. Jesus, I did just... His passing, his positional sense, his strength in the tackle, his footwork, driving forward, scoring goals. That's a player and a half. That is an absolute top footballer. So, Andrew, there's loads out there, mate. There's loads out there. Alfie has said he has just turned 27 as well. I get Douglas Luiz. He would also become our captain, in my opinion, if not part of the leadership group at the very least. Lubo, it's a good point. There is room for someone to come into this club and assume the captaincy, isn't there? There
is. Frank may not want a leadership group. He may just want a captain and vice captain. You know, and what did Ange do? Ange sat on the touchline with his hands in his pockets. You know, so you may find that he wants a vociferous captain, a sort of old style captain. And there aren't many of those left, are there? unfortunately. They all sort of, you got more captains like a Ledley King who sort of do it on, you know, play by example. But that's what we need. That's what we need.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's so many. The thing is, guys, as well, I mean, as football fans, we all sit here and go, this player, that player, this player. You've got to remember, how many European leagues are there? And every European league has 20 odd teams, 18, 20 teams, and every squad has 5, 6 central midfielders. You add all those midfielders up across Europe, that's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of midfielders where there's better players than what we've got out there cheaper. So we should be doing some good bits. D&B forever. Big up to you, my man. Hope you're well. Lovely to see you as always. Said our midfield is weak and easily bullied. Completely agree with you. A very weak midfield. Got to strengthen that up. Nape the Ape said Tonali is a fantastic player. Oh, absolutely brilliant footballer, Tonali. If Tonali played for Liverpool, City or Arsenal, I think people are talking about him for player of for league team of the year. I think that's how good he is. I think if he played for one of the big clubs challenging, I genuinely think he'd be talked about in those realms, Lubo. I think he's fantastic.
Newcastle fans, I know, were really pissed when he got done for was it match fixing?
Yeah. The gambling, wasn't it?
And I mean, Newcastle weren't happy because they felt that Milan must have known about it, kept it quiet, knowing that there was an investigation going on, copped the 52 million from Newcastle, and then he got a 10-month ban. But he's over that and he's moved on, and fabulous player, lovely player.
Yeah.
Listen, we'll find. I've every confidence under Frank over the next year or two, he will make that team much, much stronger.
For sure.
I'm looking forward to seeing who he brings in. He might be quiet now. Other teams may have taken a jump ahead of us at the moment. Early doors in the transfer window. We'll be okay. We'll be all right.
My issue isn't, my issue is not with the manager. Yeah. You know, my issue is not with Frank. I think Frank will get the best out of the players he's got. I just think if you want to keep up with the Joneses, you've got to buy somewhat like them. Not necessarily exactly like them, but you've got to somewhat bring in some bigger players because coaching will get you so far. You can coach and coach and coach, but every now and then you need those ones that don't need coaching that are just top players. Let's go to another question mark. Another question. Oh, hang on. Let's just say my man Kuva's in the house. Hello, Kuva. You sexy motherfucker. How are you? I'd like Kuva to read me a bedtime story. I just feel like it would be very comforting. Just putting that out there, Kuva, if you ever want to come around and read me a bedtime story. He said, big up SAVVA LUBO. I'd happily see us recruiting players like Maxim de Kuyper. Played well in the Champions League as a left-back of Club Bruges. Would need to steal him from Brighton's clutches. Lubo, good player. There's players like this.
Didn't they? Bruges
all over.
Gee, they went to Atalanta and won 3-0, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Brilliant result. Listen, there are some good players in Europe. I think we've also got to find some good homegrown players here as well. Because at the moment we've only got 22 players in the squad for the Champions League. So this is an issue as well. So that they've got that as well. Yeah. Just show his class.
I've got a few things I want to show you. Mr. Box Office is shouting at you. Lubo, stop going on about Paulinho. If we were getting him, we would have not got Tell.
Alex, how you doing, Alex, mate? You okay? Listen, you can buy more than one player from a club. Don't worry. We may go in and get Paulinho. Do you think Bayern Munich are going to say, no, you can't buy him because you've already had Tell offers? Come on, mate.
And the fact that they don't play in the same position, Alex. I love that.
I know where he's coming from. He's talking about offsetting the money owed for Kane. That's where Alex is coming from. But
sure.
Why not go and buy Paulinho as well? There you go.
I agree. I mean,
Alex, he won't be a backup. That's for sure.
Well, there was even talk that Paulinho might be available on loan. So, I mean, even for me, if you're saying if you want to kick a signing down the road, i.e. a top midfielder, get Paulinho for a year and then make the midfielder your next season's problem. Do you know what I mean? There's always...
Archie will be ready in 12 months' time.
Archie's not ready. Archie's not the one. Archie's not the one, mate.
In 12 months' time, you watch. They'll bulk him up. They'll make him bigger and tougher. There you go.
Lubo, Chris has got a question for you as well.
He's not misplaced one pass.
Yeah, to be fair, at the moment, Chris, he's got 100% success, pass rate, tackle rate, everything. Big up to Archie Gray not getting a looking in this tournament for England.
No, he played the first two games. Played the first two games. They conceded one goal.
Yeah, and he's been dropped now ever since.
Yeah, no accounting.
Let's have a look. Ansball has said this is why Arsenal are going for Norgard, not Paulinho, because he's playing regularly. I mean, you don't know that. you don't know that at all. By the way, everyone's making it out like Paulinho didn't play any football last year. He's got like 30 odd games in the season under his belt. I think that the Norgard deal to Arsenal just makes complete sense because it's 12 million euros. He's in London already, Lubo. He's not going to have to move house. Well, he might want to move house from west to north, but let's be fair. He's in London. He knows the Premier League. He's 12 million euros, which is about 9-10 million quid. It feels to me that would have been a very easy. Well, it looks like it's been a very easy deal for them to get over the line. So I don't think we can definitively say it's because of that, can we? It's a bold statement, but
no, it's just that Arsenal, everyone else has people behind the scenes in recruitment that get deals done quickly, not us. We got to mess about, have a fight on price, fight on wages, fight on agents' fees. Let's see.
Matt said, why am I seeing some Tottenham fans saying Norgard would have been a perfect midfield signing? He signed for Arsenal as a squad player. Tottenham need a first choice midfielder. Now, Matt, this is where I'm going to pull this whole argument apart. I love comments like this. First and foremost, being a squad player for Arsenal are going to play 55, 60 games this season, right? Let's be fair, Lubo. They're going to play 38 league games.
Yeah, of course.
They're going to play a minimum of 8 a minimum, and you would expect Arsenal
probably
to get
10
through
or 12, probably 12
right.
there. So there's 50 plus the
there's 50. Right.
You're looking at 60 games.
So now imagine, Matt, we talk about squad players, right? First and foremost, the players Arsenal have got are better than the players Spurs got. So what might be a squad player for Arsenal might be a first-team starter for us, which is Norgard. Second of all, imagine Declan Rice gets a season injury or Zubamendi. Suddenly, Norgard's playing every game. So I don't look at it like that. I think that people always assume that squad players aren't going to play loads. He will play a lot of football at Arsenal. He will play a lot of football, right? But at Spurs, I'm sorry, for me, he would be our first choice midfielder. Absolutely. You've got to remember, Matt, they've got Zubamendi and Rice in their midfield. We don't have that. So is that fair, Lubo? I think there's a huge difference between Spurs and Arsenal.
We need 2 quality players for every position, plus a couple of keepers and a few good kids coming through. Then we'll be challenging. Brentford would be a good buy as well, but now you've got the Japanese boy. I'm not sure where he goes. To be honest, Frank allegedly has come out and said he wants to look at Phillips as well. So I think that's goodbye to Dorrington, probably, unless he, or Dorrington goes on a loan. Davis is just going to be in the background. Hopefully Gray will be shadowing whoever it is in midfield. There we go. Can't be Robin Bruce, the best players.
Have you seen little Caesar who calls into my show?
No.
The little lad, he's like 15. He calls in from Belgium and always wants to talk to me about Club Bruges. So I feel bad.
That's great.
Sorry, Caesar. We've nicked your players.
So, I don't know. If Romero and Van der Ven stay, if they get the... we need the other Gray as well. Harry's meant to be better than Archie, by the way. If Romero and Van der Ven stay fit, you've got Vuskovic coming in. You've got the Japanese boy that looks very good coming in. Maybe Phillips. You've got Dan Sohn Dragerson. There's no shortage. There will be no shortage of centre-backs. And if he does play 3 at the back, you need 6 centre backs. So I think Frank's stockpiling centre halves at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, Daniela, can I just say, hang on, when we say we want top 4 in the title, hang on, like not this season. Like, let's take it down a notch. For me, I think anyone that's putting the pressure on Thomas Frank this year to finish top 4 and be in a title race has lost their mind. We are a team that have just finished 17th, right? First and foremost, Frank needs to worry about getting us back into competing for Europe via the league. And this whole, he's never finished any higher than 10th. I think this is Danielle, I think this is really, really disingenuous. He's been at Brentford. Yeah. I mean, was anyone expecting Brentford to finish in the top 6 or 7 any seasons? Really? I feel that's a bit harsh, but hey, we'll see. We'll see.
Meanwhile, Brentford finished above West Ham as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, Danielle.
Yeah. Well, I think people don't take that into account. You've got to remember the squad he's going to have at Spurs is going to be better than the squad he had at Brentford. As much as we put Spurs down, we've got a better squad than Brentford, right? So this is a manager that's coming into a different set of circumstances. Now, if Thomas Frank finishes 10th or 11th with Spurs, there are going to be questions asked. Of course there are. Of course there's going to be questions asked. But I'm not going to make any predictions, Lubo, on league finish until I actually see what we do in the transfer window.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? If the window stopped right now, I'm saying Spurs finish 10th or 11th, if I'm brutally honest.
Easily.
If I'm brutally honest. So we'll wait and see what we do. Philip Randall said, would Alan Gilzine walk into this Spurs side?
Just a bit. Just a bit.
Richard said, how do you deal with a loss in your life? Well, that's deep. Sure. It depends what sort of a loss. I've not got over this little chap going. Honestly, I look at his photo every day. I've not dealt with it. Ex-girlfriends that I've lost in my life, can't even remember their surname. So, you know, it's it swings and roundabouts, Rich. It swings and roundabouts. Hey, that was deep though, Rich. Really deep, really deep. Ask Lubo when Spurs let Archie Gray leave the club because he's not good enough. That will be a loss that will hit him deep. That will hit him deep, and we'll all have to be there. He'll need a month off YouTube. His wife won't be allowed to talk to him. Lubo. Harvey said, why does nobody rate Rodrigo Bentancur? Does nobody rate him? I think he's a good player. I don't think he's amazing, but he's a good central midfielder when used in the right way. He's a good player, right?
I love Bentancur. In his first season, I thought was phenomenal. He started the season well. The second year with Conte, and he had that shocking injury at Leicester, didn't he? With knee ligaments. I like Bentancur. I just think that the injuries have just taken the edge off his performances. But good player. I'm delighted he's staying. If it's true he's signing a new contract, I'm more than happy with that. For me, I put Bentancur in front of Basuma and Sarr every day of the week.
I've always said the same thing about Bentancur. I think Bentancur's a good player against the teams that are lower than us. For me, I just don't think he's quite good enough to run the games against the bigger teams. But he's a good footballer. Lubo's absolutely right. The injuries, we'll never know what could have been. The injuries have clearly affected him. But again, he's another one. He needs to play in that too. When he plays as the 6 on his own, we're wasting him. That's not his game. Same with Basuma. But I think when you use the word rate, it all depends on what the word rate means to an individual person, right, Lubo? Like me rating, me rating Maddison might be different to you saying, yeah, I rate Maddison. Well, I rate him as well, but it might mean different things to us, right? Yeah. But he's a good footballer. I've got no problem with Bentancur. I've also got no problem if he goes. If he goes, he goes. If he stays, he stays. It is what it is. Let's have a look, shall we? DMB forever. Look at that thumbnail picture. I can see the likes of Ozzy. I can see the likes of Ricky Villa. I can see what that would have been the FA Cup in. Would that be 81 or 82?
81, I think. Did Aussie play in the 82 Cup final? He went to France, didn't he, because of the Falklands?
See, it's such a small fun now. DMB forever. Which year is that?
Should be 81.
Didn't we win it in 81 and 82?
We won 2 years running, correct. We did City in 81 and QPR in 82.
Yeah, because I was born in 82. So I know that Spurs won a trophy. So Spurs have won a trophy in the first year I was born and the current year that I was born. I mean, there's a fun fact for you. What a wonderful fact that is. Complete shit stat, really, isn't it? Big up to you, DMB forever. Always very, very generous in the chat. Talking of generosity, here is Tim Kirby. Big up to you, Tim. Hope you're well, my friend, who said, take Norgard over Paulinho because of Frank connection. And Tim, Lubo, let's talk about it. I think this is something that is always, hang on, England are in here. Hang on, Lubo. Hold tight. No, brilliant defending, whoever that is. Scout that boy. Great defending. This is always something that's overlooked. Sometimes you get a manager and a player who have a connection. And the player knows exactly what the manager wants. The manager knows he can completely trust the player. Sometimes that just makes them go from a 7 out of 10 to an 8 or 9 out of 10 because of that connection. That, for me, is why I wanted a player like Norgard, because he's not going to have to come in and be coached to play Thomas Frank's way. He knows it. So I agree with the connection part. What are you thinking? And thank you for the super chat. Thank you very much.
I think if you bought a Paulinho or a Douglas Luiz, for me, it doesn't make any difference. I think these players listen to instructions and it clicks with them straight away. They don't have to be told twice. They're that good.
Sure.
So
listen, sure.
I understand it's easy. You know, it was like, I suppose, Harry with Defoe and with Cranchar, you know, as an example of Spurs.
Nico. Yeah. We're getting the gang back together. Who is it? Nico, Crouchy, Defoe. Who else did he find?
Who else? I'm trying to think. Who else was there?
Am I right in saying, you remember when Harry was down at Portsmouth? At one point, did he have like Sherwood, Sheringham, Merson all together? Like, did he have like loads and loads of
he had loads of older players, old established players.
Yeah. Oh, I loved Harry. Oh, Harry Redknapp. Oh, he makes me smile when I think about Harry. Philly. Philly WhatsApped me this morning. And he was like, question to you and Lubo. I was like, everyone likes having a pop at Lubo. Not every player is going to make it. And Archie Gray looks like Bambi in there. Oh, dearie me, Philly, you cheeky man. Sorry for my lot. Oh, Frank. Yeah. Oh, my baby. Look, when you're a dog parent, unfortunately it goes with the territory, right? You know, at some point you're going to outlive them. And then what a wonderful turn of events that the new Spurs manager ends up being Frank, just a few months after my Frankie passed away. David E said, any news on Eze? Zero from me. Any news from you on Eze?
No news, Dave. No news. Just pal of mine, David. Follows the show.
Yeah. Lubo said to me before the show starts, he's on holiday. So that's the official line. No news. Eze is on holiday, doing whatever he's doing. I don't know if he's a family man or I don't know, but he's on holiday, and I'm sure it'll be somewhere nicer than any of us can afford. Let's put it that way. But he was class with Conte. I think Mike Zappa talking about Bentancur. Bentancur will be class under Frank. Yeah, listen, I thought Bentancur was very good under Conte. But as I said, I always thought I saw him turn up against the teams I expect him to. For me, what I've never seen in his career is I want to see him run a game against a big club. But that's just me. What if Frank plays Gray? then he plays grey. I don't really know what to say to that. 81.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
really won't be sending any more comments in, will he?
Hang on. D&B saying it could be the UEFA Cup for 84. Okay. All right. Okay. Anyway, it was a trophy-winning year, whatever it was.
Is that a second part of the question? Is of which UEFA Cup win did you enjoy the most? That quite possibly been the question, because I saw one up very early on in the comments. What did you prefer best, 84 or Bilbao? That's a tough one because the Old Lane was absolutely fantastic and that night was brilliant.
I'm going with the 84 one, even though I was 2 years old. I'm going with that one.
I think the football in 84 was fantastic. What was great about Bilbao was that when we won in 72, we won at home. And when we won in 84, we won it at White Hart Lane as well.
Yeah. Do you know I was there, Lubo?
Yeah.
As a 2-year-old, I was taken to the game by my uncle, and obviously I was 2. I can't remember a single thing, but I've actually been to a Europa final that Spurs have won without even remembering a thing.
There you go.
Like, a bit like Perchy, who I'm sure didn't remember a single thing in Bilbao that night other than ringing into Lee Gunner's show at about 3 in the morning.
That was brilliant.
I fucking love Perchy. He cracks me up so much.
That actually should have won funniest moment on YouTube.
That was brilliant.
That should have won.
Him speaking to all the Arsenal fans like Lee Gunner, and they're all just sitting there going, we can't say anything.
Yeah, calling him Woolwich.
Yeah. Spurs have won a trophy. Big up to Andy Leicester, who has put a super sticker. Fun fact, if everyone put in a 99p super sticker, we'd make 380 quid in 1 minute. Just a little fun fact for you. Big up, Andy. Always very generous. Really appreciate you. Terry Wright. Just so you know, Terry, you support Spurs and Norgard's going to Arsenal, mate. So, no, we didn't sell Højbjerg to bring in Norgard. He's going to the other side of North London, mate. Richard, you are a Forest fan. Is he talking to this Richard? Forest are not selling anybody and we are not desperate. We will not sell anybody. You got it wrong.
There were a couple of comments that I saw a few minutes ago about Dean Anderson. The player we were talking about before was Elliot Anderson, who I think is 19 years old, who joined Forest from Newcastle at the beginning of the season.
Hit it. Oh, yeah. Sorry. By the way, player I really rate. I'm just going to put it out there. There's 2 players I would absolutely take from this England team without a shadow of a doubt. I don't think we've got any chance of getting one of them. Which is Livramento. I think he's a very good footballer. And the other one, I'm a big fan of Harvey Elliott. I think Harvey Elliott's a really good footballer.
Well, you could buy Harvey. You could get Harvey Elliott because he's up. He wants out, doesn't he?
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a really good technical, but he's got that little bit of bite to him, and I like that. I don't like everyone being nice. Where are we? Someone's just said Neil Ruddock. Sure. I don't know what that was in relation to, but yet Neil Ruddock loved Razor. Where are we? Let's go to another question, shall we? Just quickly before we do, Terry saying Douglas Luiz is a good shout. Had a rough season, but a quality mate. For me, that sort of a deal seems like you go to Juventus and go, hey, listen, we know Douglas Luiz isn't starting. I know we don't go to Juventus, but have the chat with Douglas Luiz. Go to Juventus and go, what do you want? 25, 30 million? Yeah. It feels like there's no brainers out there to do. Big up to the next question is from Danan J. I said, I'm a Liverpool fan. Honestly, Levy is dumb. Lubo's with you so far. He wants to win trophies, but he sacked the manager who won them a trophy and brought in Frank for tactical flexibility. Lubo, do you want to? It's not a question; it's a statement. But I thought I'll destroy that argument unless you want to.
Very, very, very simple. We watched 2 years of nonsense. tactics that were appalling. We were ripped apart virtually every single game. And he did well. He did everything in reverse to win the Europa League. You know, he came in all the time for virtually 2 years. It's who we are, mates. But it wasn't who we are, mate, that turned up in Bilbao, that turned up in Frankfurt, and that turned up in Bodo Glimt. We won the Europa, fantastic night. And then you look forward and you think to yourself, right, can he take us forward? And you look at his results against clubs of a higher level than those in the Europa League, and they were really poor. So you think to yourself, can he take us forward? No, he can't. So unfortunately, the league position and the amount of losses that we had, and apart from the first 10 games, the next 66 were appalling, was 78 points from 66 games. He had to go. You know, dog eat dog world. And he had to go.
Completely agree. By the way, Andy Lester, sorry, mate, stick in the question again. Sorry, I've got to remember when I'm doing the show and looking at the comments, I'm currently on 613 and the comments are on 619. So which question was it that you wanted me to answer, mate? And I will answer it. Yeah, Marios, I said last summer I wanted Livramento, and I was told by Spurs fans that he wasn't good enough. Another one, very, very good player. I think he'd be brilliant at Brighton, by the way, Lynn. I think Harvey Elliott would be a very good player at Brighton for the way they play. I think he'd fit in perfectly. And I've seen a lot of reports that, what's his name? Who did they buy last year from Celtic? Matt O'Reilly might be on the move. So we'll watch out that one. Jack Spurs said, do you think Man City will get the same punishment as Lyon? And who do you think will leave Lyon after what happened? So obviously Lyon relegated to Ligue 2. Yeah. They'll appeal it, Lubo, won't they? I think they'll win it. I think they'll win the appeal.
I don't know too much about why they were relegated, but I have read that they've got a very strong case, Lyon. So let's see what happens. Do we think Man City will get the same punishment? I doubt it. You know, the big clubs don't get hit, do they, in the Premier League? They're too powerful, too strong. So, no. The answer is no.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Can you read my question I posted like a minute before you started, Sava? I mean, dude, you want me to go back an hour and a half in the show? By the way, Harvey Elliott's just scored an absolute cracker for England under 21s. I like him. Said it before, not just saying it because he scored. I like him. He's got something about him, that lad. And if Liverpool don't want to give him regular game time, I would happily give him regular game time at Tottenham.
So go back 2 comments before. Chelsea would never have sold Livramento to Spurs, unfortunately.
Yeah,
they don't do, the 2 clubs don't do business, do they?
No, possibly not. But, you know, listen, by the way, sorry, I can't get everybody's questions in just above my super sticker. Hang on. You got to remember, I've got thousands of comments just above your super sticker. Here we go. Andy Lester, big up to you, mate. I said, big up, guys. What are your thoughts on Gibbs White? If Eze doesn't happen, is he a good option, or could you think of a better option? Lubo.
Good player. Very good player. And if Eze didn't come and Gibbs White did, I'd probably be disappointed because I prefer Eze. But if you said to me, right, Eze's not coming, he's staying, or he's gone elsewhere, I would take Gibbs White, definitely.
Yeah, I think they're very different players. I think Morgan Gibbs. By the way, I would take Gibbs White. I think it would be a lot of money to get him out of Forest, though. I feel like when we're talking about, we don't want to pay that for Semenyo and that for Pedro and that, I think the fee for us Gibbs White is again going to be 65, 70 million because he's English. And I like him. I don't think he's as dynamic as Eze. I don't think he's the guy that gets you off your seat like Eze. The Nottingham Forest fans that I stream with say that he's good but overrated. I don't know. I'd be happy with him, but yeah, I'd rather Eze every day of the week. If I'm brutally honest, I'd rather Eze every single day of the week. Big up to you. Thank you. Jack, please stop spamming this question. I've read it once. Please, I've seen you put it in about 95 times. I don't want to block people, but I will. The Rude Boy sound. Big up to my man. The Rude Boy said, could we test Villa's resolve for Onana or Rodgers, who would be my guy if we do not get Eze because he plays central? I can't see Villa selling either one of them to us, if I'm honest. Don't know about you, Lubo. I feel like they would be strengthening the team that they know should be in and around them. I can't see it.
You've got to get these guys either when they're much younger or when they've just started. They're just starting to show you move quickly. You do a deal. There's got to be a link. There's got to be a connection somewhere, like an old manager, etc. And that's when you get these guys. You don't get these guys now when they're established. Unless you want to pay mad money, and we know Spurs don't do that, so they've gone.
Yeah, listen, I would take both. By the way, like if you said to me, right, our midfield next season, and Arna's going to be the box-to-box number 8, number 6, whatever you want to call it, I'm happy with that. He's a big physical presence, and if you said to me Morgan Rodgers was going to be in that forward line, yeah, absolutely, I'm taking Morgan Rodgers as well. I just can't imagine how much Morgan Rodgers would cost from Villa. He's been there 18 months. He's broken into the England squad. I think you're looking at 80, 85 million for a player like that now, Lubo, unfortunately. I do. I think
60 to 70 seems to be a very popular figure being bandied around for a lot of players so far, doesn't it?
It does. But the problem you've got with that, Lubo, is all of these clubs now are going to turn around. Like, I can imagine that Nottingham Forest, when they got the £45 million bid for Elanga, went, hang on. Semenyo's 65, Pedro's 65, Eze's 65. You know what? If you want Elanga... Exactly. So it's gone crazy, and this is what you get if you want English talent. Yeah. Lubo's right. You've got to get English talent like when Palace got Wharton. You know, we spent all that time scouting Blackburn and came back with Ashley Phillips, and Wharton would have been playing in all those games.
That's right. Listen, you've got to get these good English kids early. They'll come through, don't worry.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark, big up to Mark. I want to say he's in Bristol. I might have made that up. Bristol, did you say? Wolverhampton, somewhere like that? I know Bristol and Wolverhampton are nowhere near each other, by the way. I'm just trying to think. Harvey Elliott is so good. Someone is going to get a bargain at 40 million. Mark, for me, this is the sort of player I want to see in our squad. This is the sort of player who can play off the right, play off the left. He can go into the attacking midfield. He likes to tackle. I like people like that. Got a bit of buzz and a bit of zip about them. That for me is a good player.
He's got an edge. He's got an edge to him as well, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. And he's done it on the biggest stage with Liverpool. He's played in title-winning teams, Champions League teams. You know, he's been at Liverpool for what, 5-6 years? So for me, and he's a London boy, Lubo, isn't he? He's from Fulham
originally. He's from Fulham originally. Yeah.
Oh, I'm taking him all day long. If you said to me 40 million for him all day, 40 million for him or 65 million Gibbs White, I'm taking Harvey Elliott. I'll be honest. I think he's a good player. Why is Elliott leave Liverpool? I mean, look, Liverpool have got so many players, and I'm guessing at some point a player like Elliott needs regular game time, right, Lubo? I mean, there's only so long you can be.
He's listening. He's got Gravenberch. He's got Slobosly. Who's the other one? Sorry, he's got Wirtz now. That's right. So as soon as Wirtz came in, Elliott's looking at it, thinking, "Do you know what? I'm even further down the pecking order."
Yeah.
So
and that happens, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's no slight on him. But if we're looking, so last year in all competitions, I mean, listen, he's played. To be fair, he's played a lot. Look, I'll show you guys. He's actually played a lot. of football for Liverpool. So he's an experienced footballer now, even at a young age. Hopefully you can all see that. There you go. So, you know, he's played 147 games for Liverpool. 28 last season, 53 the year before, 46 the year before that. So he's played football, Lubo. But I'm guessing that he would want to play more than 18 Premier League games in a season.
Well, listen, if you drop from 53 to 28 in one season, that's a heck of a drop, isn't it?
Massive.
Half the games, basically. So
massive.
You can understand that. Listen, he's won trophies. He's had a brilliant grounding. You know, I'm sure. And he's still only 22. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I like him, guys. I know not everyone that I like him. As I said, I want Lubo used the exact right word. I want that edge. I want a boy that you don't have to G up, you know. Yeah. I want a boy that you send out there and are you ready to play? Like, and I'm watching him here. He's involved in everything. He's fighting. He's hustling. He's got good footwork, and you saw that finish there. Big up to. Sorry, go on, Lubo.
And McAllister as well. So where's he going to get in?
Well, he's got Alexis McAllister. He's got Gravenberch. He's got Wirtz. He's got Soboslai. He's got Curtis Jones, right? It's a lot of footballers there, isn't it? And he's just, I thought he was being subbed off. I think he's having a cooling break. I'd take it. For me, that's what I mean. There's deals everywhere. There's deals to be done. Go to Liverpool, who, let's be fair, Liverpool have sold Quansah for 35. They get another 40 million for Elliott. They're starting to pay off the Wirtzes and the Kirkes and the Frimpong. So, listen, I would do that all day long. Big up to Archer. Thank you very much for the super chat. Really appreciate you, Archer. Has said, what is the most ridiculous comical goal you've ever seen in a Spurs game for and against?
Okay. Against, I'm going to go back a very long time to, unfortunately, last minute of a League Cup semi-final against Chelsea in 72. When the ball went under Cyril Knowles' foot, there was a cross from the corner flag and it went under his foot and it went into the back of the net. That's against for Spurs, most ridiculous comical goal. Robbie Keane, I think it was Birmingham. The goalkeeper put it down in front of him, didn't remember that Keane was behind him. Keane ran round, put it into an empty net.
Sorry, by the way, the Netherlands have equalised. For anyone that cares, Netherlands have equalised. The number 9, who looks like an absolute unit. Here we go. Oh, his name is Ohio, as in the state. 9 goals in 15 matches they've just put up. So Ohio has just scored for Netherlands. Hang on, let me just have a look at this. Oh, the defender's had a mare. Who's number 5 for England? Oh, he's had a mare. Lubo, he's had a mare. The defender's gone to trap the ball. No trouble. He's missed it. The striker's whipped in, hit it out from about 40 yards. Trafford's off his line, scrambling back. Oh, he's had a mare. He's had a mare there, the centre half. Oh, dearie me. Anyway, England won.
Got to get Archie on.
Let me see who that was. I've got a feeling it would be Cresswell of Toulouse.
Shouldn't be starting in front of Gray anyway. So there you go. I told you Carsley. I said Carsley made a wreck. Get Archie on.
I'm just trying to see who else is on the bench. Well, let's be fair. The centre halves that would start over Gray would be Egan Riley. Who else is in there? The problem he's got is he's got midfielders on the bench. People like Fellows and Hackney and Waneri. It's some good players there. Anyway, big up to you for that question. The most comical goal I think I've seen, one of them has got to be against us, was the Davinson Sanchez face plant. Remember that?
Yes, Man City.
Yeah, Man City. That was quite funny. Comical goal. I remember, God, was it Boxing Day? Or with Paul Robinson against Watford, I want to say. Just booted it out. Just went boom.
February the 7th, I think that was.
That was funny. That was funny.
Brilliant goal. we all looked there. Everyone just gasped. It was like, what have we just seen here? He's done a patch in him.
There's been some comical ones down the years. The most comical goal I think I've ever seen in football was got to be Darren Bent and the beach ball. Do you remember that when the inflatable beach ball was on a Anfield, right? I think it was at Anfield.
It was at
Stadium of Light?
No, it was at Stadium of Light.
Stadium of Light. And everyone was kind of like, is it a goal? Does the game stop? Does it? And I remember they had to stop the game for ages, and it was like there was some rule about an inanimate object interfering with play. It should have
been disallowed. It was the only goal of the game. So, good in here was Pedro Mendes at Old Trafford.
Oh, Pedro Mendes, the goal that never was. It was like that far over the line. It was like that far over the line. Any news on the Mikey Moore injury? I haven't seen anything to say it's bad.
No, none whatsoever. He rolled his ankle. Again, if it's a bad tear, it can be out for 6 months. If it's just a strain or sprained ligaments, then it's 3 or 4 weeks. So, but nobody said anything.
Well, look, big up to Moose. Very, very generous Moose, sticking in the $20. Thank you very much. I know you came over having seen me on Sean's channel. Most people hate me on Sean's channel, so thank you very much, Moose. They're going to love the fact that Sean and I will be joint owners of a channel soon with Lubo, Johnny, and Stel. That'll be interesting. Moose, big up to you. As said, hello, SAVVA and Lubo. Hello to you. How are we doing? I'm good. Don't know about Lubo. He's upset because Archie Gray's not playing, but he says, I need an Eze signing announced ASAP. And one thing I will say, I know people were upset about Takai, but with Frank managing us, I know we can get these young players developed. And Lubo, that is the one thing that I am feeling better about with signing younger players and with the younger players in the squad, is that this is Thomas Frank's background. This is the background he comes from, is from youth football with the Danish national setup. He's developed countless young players at Brentford. So I agree. I'm not upset with the Takai signing, by the way. I was more upset with Tell, but he's got a point, hasn't he, here, Moose? He's got a point.
Yeah, listen, you could be seeing the class of 25 coming through. Wait and see. I think we've got a bigger pool of really good, talented kids than we've had for 30 years. And Frank will be great to develop them. Going to be brilliant.
As I've said, I'll keep saying, Moose, first of all, thank you very much for that super chat. That's very generous. I always make a big deal of thanking people for their super chats. So I think it's the right thing to do. So thank you very much for that. Indeed, you've been very, very generous there. What I would say is, Moose, you've seen me for a few weeks now. My issues at this club do not lie at the feet of the manager right now. At no point have I said to anyone, I'm worried that Frank can't do X, Y, Z. My worry is the expectations that fans will have on Frank and the reality of what the board will give Frank to achieve those expectations. But big up. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate I really, really do appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Let me just double check I've not missed any. Lubo, are you okay for time?
All good for time, yeah.
Okay, good. By the way, a couple of subs coming on for England, by the way. McAtee is going off, the number 10, who is obviously at Man City. He's another one I think at some point will depart. Hutchinson has come off as well. So Hutchinson and McAtee have come off. And the players going on are, is that Norton Cuff? Am I making that up? Norton Cuffy? Hutchinson off for Norton Cuffy. And also Jonathan Rowe has come on, the number 9. He plays in France as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He played for Marseille, maybe? Someone like that?
I think he does.
Yeah. There you go, the former Norwich kid. Bill has said thoughts on Nick Kyrgios. Is this the...
Kyrgios, that's the Australian tennis player.
Yeah, I saw something. Didn't he say something about Ange and Spurs? And let me Google it. Nick, what's his name?
Kyrgios, Kyrgios.
Kyrgios, Tottenham. Let's see what he said. Let's say Nick Kyrgios, Tottenham. Let's see if anything comes up immediately. Nick Kyrgios could break unwritten rule after controversial something. Here we go. Tennis star Nick Kyrgios has said he reacts after being told to support Celtic as he snubs Tottenham. Oh dear, Nick. Kyrgios used to follow Spurs, but because of Postecoglou, not anymore. Oh dear. Are we going to be all right about him?
He's no loss.
Yeah. Just like the mayor of which mayor was it?
For when?
Melbourne?
I don't know.
Is it the mayor in Australia who said, I urge Daniel Levy to reconsider his decision after he sacked him? Yeah, all right.
Levy's going to listen to him, isn't he?
Yeah. Listen, it's the same as all those people that suddenly started supporting Spurs when Ange joined. I don't care what they say. Some of us have supported Spurs for decades. I don't care what people who didn't know what Spurs were 2 years ago think. Where are we? Andy Lester said, Lubo, Hackney for Gray, straight swap deal. Are you taking it?
No, Hackney with Gray. That'd be good.
Andy, ask me. What's that? SAVVA, would you Hackney for Gray, straight swap deal all day, every day? For me, Hackney is much better. I'm just going to put that there just because it will wind up Lubo, but I also believe it. Let's get to the next question. Here he is, Phil P. I've heard some stories about you in Bilbao, my man. Phil P said, when, if, ever, do you predict Eze will sign? Eze, we can't stop talking about him.
Listen, Phil, Daniel said we're going to win the league and the Champions League. Eze's coming soon, don't you? You put your hat on it.
Oh, how we laugh. There's Eze questions every day. Paul Russell said Liverpool sold Kelleher to Brentford for a bargain, 13 million. Yeah, I think that's a good move for him, Kelleher, to go and get first team football. Looks like Keith Andrews is going to be the manager, right?
He is. He is the manager.
He is the manager, right? Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see because he was the set piece coach. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does. I know he's highly thought of. Also saw this morning that there was some news that Brentford might be selling a stake in the club to a couple of businessmen. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but saw that. Where are we? There's loads and loads of questions. Noah, Ohio is best friends with Jude Bellingham. There you go. Hang on. Is Harvey Elliott turn? Shoot. Blocked. I like him. Comical goal for Spurs. Gaza without his boot in the North London derby. Yep. 2 Gooners end up in the back of their net. 2 wonderful. Yeah, who can forget that? Pat Jennings scored at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
There you go. Pat Jennings. Paul Robbo. Yeah, Robinson. I don't know what happened to Robinson. It felt like he was at the world at his feet, England's #1, and it seemed to just drop very quickly, didn't it, for him? A bit like Joe Hart. Felt like he was England's #1, and then all of a sudden it just felt like it went very soon from them.
Well, Joe Hart was City's first choice. Pep came in and bounced him out straight away, didn't he?
Yeah. Stanley Kush said the Monster Six we want and who we will get will be Calvin Phillips. Oh, dearie me. Stanley Kush come in and said Jonathan Rowe is good. I know he was very highly rated at Norwich. I think he's just had a difficult season at Marseille if I'm looking at his goal output. But again, I don't know how much he's played. England, by the way, for anyone that cares, 80, just coming up to 83.5 minutes. Waneri and Hackney, my man Hackney, they're coming on for, I reckon that is Scott And so Scott is off for Hayden Hackney. And the other one is Waneri on for Stansfield. So Stansfield of Birmingham, right? I think Stansfield's the striker that plays up front for Birmingham, who are signing back Damari Gray from Saudi Arabia. So watch out for that one. What is it with these Aussies? Oh, God, because we shouldn't have opened this one, but we started, so we'll finish. I didn't support that Dutch team when Steve McLaren managed them just because we are both English. Lubo, they've got a point, right? Like, if Graham Potter left West Ham right now and went and managed Porto, I'm not going to suddenly rock up and start supporting Porto and going on Porto YouTube channels. Why have the Aussies done that?
They love their sporting heroes, the Aussies. And you got to admit, there we go. Gray's the bigger talent. Thank you very much.
Oh, hang on. Everybody, welcome to Lubo's burner account, PC Olsen. Gray is the bigger talent. Sure, must be why he's not getting any game time here, and Hayden Hackney is. Well, yeah, sure.
Carsley will live or die on his decisions.
Great goal. England are 2-1 up, and guess who scored? It's my boy again, Harvey Elliott. Really good goal. Drifted past two players. I tell you what, I don't know if you've got it on, but this is brilliant play from Harvey Elliott. That's what I really like in a player. Is anyone watching in the chat? That's a very good goal. That's a very, very good goal. He's got the ball. Hang on, I'm waiting for them to show it again. 1 second. That's a really good goal in the 86th minute. It's a great time to grab a goal. He picked the ball up, drove past one, kept going, and then just fired it from the edge of the box into the bottom corner. Really, really good play. I'd take him all day long. Spurs Kings TV. Big up. I'm guessing I'm going to go with Marlon. Marlon, last word on Spurs. I tried to help his channel grow, and then he just lobbed me off for last word on Spurs. Thanks, Marlon. Said if Romero goes, would you be happy if this was the defence we went into the season with? Lubo?
I'd like to see Vuskovic there. Very interested to see how good he is.
I don't want an 18-year-old coming into centre half.
We could have a super kid here. We could have a super kid.
Based on what? How many times you watched him play?
Based on playing in two top divisions in Europe. Can't be a mug. Playing at 16 in Croatia, 17 in Belgium. Can't be an idiot. Can't be.
No, sure. But you'd be happy going into this season with an 18-year-old kid at centre half who's not played in the Premier League before.
Well, you got Danso as well. If this guy is, if he's as good as the height, then stick him in. If he's not, then you got Danso to come in.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, but for me, I would not have him in there. I think he's going to be down in the pecking order behind a few players. But by the way, Fabrizio Romano has just tweeted out Christian Norgard to Arsenal. Here we go. 11 million euros. 11 million euros. It's not a bad signing, is it, for that, for squad depth and 11 million euros. So Arsenal managed to get
9.3 million pounds. There you go. There you go.
9.3 million. Yeah, he has. Yeah, you're right, Marlon. I think that's Marlon. It's normally Marlon, not Ash. Elliot has been on fire this tournament. Yeah, really good player. Really, really good player. And a good age for me. I like that, a good age. He's come out of being a teenager, developed, 22, got 200 career games under his belt. So, yeah, look, so Arsenal getting the here we go twice today, once for Kepa and once for Norgard. But their fans, I watched a bit of Lee Gunner, etc. earlier. Their fans they don't care. They want the big one. They want the Garquerez signings. So, but yeah, £9.5 million for a seasoned Premier League central midfielder. It's just a quick word on it. It's a good deal, Lubo. It is a good deal, whichever way we look at it. I know it's them lot down the road, but it's a good deal.
Yeah. No, Jimmy, I agree. Romero, I think, is irreplaceable at the moment.
Oh, he's not irreplaceable. The man hardly plays football. This is ridiculous. How can a man that is injured that much be irreplaceable?
Sav, my turn to wind you up, mate.
What are we doing here? Right,
what are we doing?
Jimmy, this would be great if Spurs played in finals every week, but we don't. The guy never seems to play for Tottenham. But Phil, this isn't a signing for Arsenal to move
they're all
the needle.
coming out now. It's wine summertime up now.
No, it's not. Well, this won't wind me up at all. Phil, this isn't about moving the needle. This is about squad building. That's a very sensible one. If they've lost Partey on a free and then only had to spend $9.5 million to bring in somebody who's a seasoned Premiership player in midfield, but I think that's quality. That's what we should be doing. That's what we should be doing. A bit of experience as well. He's used to playing in the Premier League against the big clubs. He's going to slot in. He'll be able to play the way Arteta does. I think they've got a good sign in there. Absolutely, Pete. Absolutely. How can a player who missed half the season be it? It's mad, isn't it? It's Paul. Agreed. Mate, I genuinely don't understand these people who keep saying he's irreplaceable, like he's Toby or Jan or Mabbott or I don't know what they're watching, but hey, exactly, Scott. Exactly, Scott. Scott M. Bang on. Hang on, I've lost it now. Your comment was very good. Dave, exactly. Zubimendi was the needle mover. Norgard is there because they've lost Partey, and don't forget they lost Jorginho as well on a free transfer. So they've got to build out that squad. Not every signing can be a needle mover. Not every signing can be a needle mover. Is Ait Nouri a needle mover at Man City, or is he just a good, solid signing? You know, you've got to ask the questions. 29 million less than Gray. Yeah, I know. Absolutely shocking. I know. No, see, Phil, I think Norgard's a good footballer. Again, we're doing that thing again. He's a good player. He's a good footballer. Absolutely, Miss Bunny. What isn't good is the number of likes on the stream. We should have 300. We've only got 200 exactly. Yeah, I disagree. He's depth for them, but we don't need depth. No, but he'd be starting for us. I bet you Norgard starts a fair few games for Arsenal. Honestly, we seem to do this with everyone. Clubs like Arsenal buy these players and we don't think they'd be good enough for us. I just don't get it. I don't get what we do. Yeah, here we go. I know a lot of people are telling me, I know, we've seen it. Arsenal still won't. Well, they've got work to do if they want to finish above City and Arsenal, City and Liverpool. They've got a lot of work to do. And I think the first thing they need to do, Lubo, is a striker. Right? That's where that's going to be the difference maker for them. Is going to be up front.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't argue with Messi. Loves Romero. I can argue with Messi all I want. Do I know Alfie Doherty? Wasn't he the one at Luton? Alfie Doherty?
Yeah.
It's neither. Yeah. Why would he be perfect for our club? Neil, completely agree with you. The most overrated defender I think we've had. I completely agree with you, Neil. I know Lubo loves him. I watch this guy make mistake week in, week out, and he gets talked about like he's Jan Vertonghen. Not having it. He couldn't lace Vertonghen out of IRL's boots. Let's put it that way. Levy out said Norgard is average, man. He starts for Tottenham. I hate to break it to you. He starts for Tottenham. Of course, Pete, this is the problem. Everyone thinks every single signing needs to be the needle mover. Right, let me ask you this question. Lubo, this is the thing that frustrates me with football fans. Not you, Pete. I'm agreeing with you here. Arsenal have already got Declan Rice, who they spent 100 million on, right? They've gone and got Zubimendi, who's their star midfield signing this summer. Do people really think the next midfield signing they make is also going to be a star midfield signing? Like, I don't think people understand that you've got to build a squad. I really don't feel like people channel into that. Got to have a squad.
Listen, if they got somebody who's a proven Premier League player for under 10 million, it's a great deal, isn't it? And you'll get a couple of years out of him. So you're paying the right sort of price. He's not going to be a first 11 player. He's going to be a squad player. Not back
One
up.
injury, though. One injury changes that, Lubo, doesn't it?
It could do, yeah. Yeah, and they've lost 2 and they brought 2 in. So, let's worry about ourselves, not Arsenal.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not worried about Arsenal. I'm just saying we seem to do this a lot, though. This is what makes me laugh, Lubo. We seem to look at the bigger clubs who buy players and we all go, oh, they're not very good. And yet these clubs finish above us year after year after year after year after year. But yet the players they sign, they're not very good. I think it's an astute piece of business from Arsenal. That I'm jealous. I'm very, very jealous. Scott said people just spent the whole season complaining about how we can't do anything because of injuries, and then say we don't want players that can help us with dealing with Scott, don't, mate. It drives me bananas, our fan base. You have to build a squad that is as good or better than the ones you shift out, and Norgard isn't better than Partey or Jorginho. Well, Jorginho was aging.
That's subjective. That's a subjective comment, Bill, because I've got to tell you something. Sorry, I was one of those that thought Partey was the worst one out in Arsenal's midfield.
See, I don't think he was the worst one in the midfield, but I think that
a big fan.
I don't think Phil. This is the thing with Phil. This is the same guy, by the way, that rates Tell. It's funny, isn't it? It's like must get Tell. Oh, Norgard, not a good signing. I just don't get it. Listen, you've got to realise as well, and I learned this a long time ago. Managers, Lubo, you'll know this. Managers mould and adapt. It doesn't have to be like for like. Yeah, you look what Pep Guardiola's done over the years at City. The midfielders have always changed. The types of forwards have changed. The types of fullbacks and centre backs have changed. Arteta's doing it, and people are going, he's a replacement. So what you mean is they're building a squad of midfielders. Phil, if I said to you now, our centre midfield options are Zubimendi, Rice, and Norgard, yeah, they piss all over all 3 of us. Sorry, they're better than all 3 of us.
There you go. Good results. Archie's seen England over the line last 6 minutes when he came on.
Well done, Archie Gray. Did he come on?
Yeah, came on 91st minute for Elliott. 7 minutes extra time. Locked it up.
Well done.
Anyway, we're in the final.
Anyway, yeah, so England under 21s are in a final. Look, guys, I just think we've got to stop doing this. We see the better teams buying players and we knock them. We do this all the time. And then we'll get annoyed at our own transfer window. And Mr. Clean, unfortunately, Arsenal are miles ahead of us. But I would love Spurs to make some smart signings. I forget Norgard, Lubo. I think we need some experience somewhere. A level-headed player who's been there, seen it, done it. I think that he would have been perfect, but I think we need someone that does that for us. Somebody.
Well, I think who would be very good if Spurs brought him in for a year would be Gundogan, who went back to Man City last year. It'd be perfect for us.
Top player. Our fans would say he's not good enough. Our fans say crazy shit.
He would do the same job that Edgar Davids did when he came in for a year.
Agreed.
12, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
There we go. Didn't touch the ball. Well, there you go.
Yeah, I completely agree. But listen, we laugh. We laugh all day long. We'd love to be finishing second. We'd love to be finishing second. I think before we laugh at other clubs, I think we need to worry about our own signings before we laugh at other football clubs. Big up to my brother, Brian Daigle, who has said Norgard would have come in and know exactly what is needed in Frank's team, brings experience to the team, and also that defensive protection we desperately needed and been lacking. Yeah. Brian, a sensible comment. Comment.
Brian, happy birthday again. I think you've had 13 birthdays this year, haven't you? In joke on the WhatsApp group, Brian. People have been wishing Brian a happy birthday for the last 2 weeks. There you go. and happy anniversary as well.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Big up to you, Brian. And DMB Forever just saying big up to you. Moose, big up again. Is coming again. Very generous. And said, another question I had. With Leon getting relegated and in financial trouble, any of their players you eyeing up? Is there anyone that screams to me from Leon? No one. Is Almada still there? They had Almada, I think. There were a lot of people sniffing around that Coletta Carr centre half. I think was he Croatian or something like that. There's no one that
centre half, do we?
No, we don't. No, there's no one that really screams to me, but that doesn't mean it won't scream to Daniel Levy on the cheap. So we'll find out what happens. Moose, is there anyone that you see at Lyon that we would potentially be looking at? That's the better question. Exactly, Moose. Big up, Brian. Team Frank. Yeah, all the Frankaholics all in one building. That's what we want. Big up to the Two Mark Show, the Cookie, the Cookmeister. Big up to you. So big up you pair of legends. Great show. Big up to you. Really appreciate that, Mark. And if you haven't subscribed to the Two Mark Show, please do get over there. Bill has said, I just think Jorginho and Partey are better players than Norgard. They're different players to Norgard, right? I think they're different footballers to Norgard. I think Arsenal, you can see are mixing it up. Zubimendi is a very different player to Partey, who he's essentially replacing. So it doesn't mean it's better or worse. He's a different type.
The interesting thing is that Zubimendi and Marino were superb together at Sociedad, weren't they?
They were.
So maybe you'll see Marino come in and play in midfield a lot more than he did this season.
Quite possibly. But you've also got, listen, I think if you look and say their midfield two, if you look at a two, it's probably going to be Rice and Zubimendi. For me, that's perfect. Zubimendi will sit and do the deep line playmaker, control the game. Declan Rice, for me, is the ultimate box-to-box midfielder. I think he's brilliant at that. Great engine, good leader, set pieces, tackling, scores, passes. And then you've got Mikel Merino and Norgard, who I think, and Odegaard, who I think will float in and out. And then you've got young, Saka and Nwaneri. And then that's where I think that's where Arsenal need to add. They need more quality up top. But people talking about Fofana, Almada, Cherky was at Lyon. Too late for that now. Yeah, I mean, look, let's be fair. The moment Man City came in, though, there was no hope for us. The moment that the Man City came in. Listen, Lubo, I will leave it there. We've been going for 2 hours. Let me just check I've not missed any super chats. Hang on. I think I've missed another super chat. Hang on. I missed a super chat. Did I read this? Moose has said, genuinely, sorry, Moose. I'm so sorry, mate. I'm so sorry. Looks like I missed this. I really didn't mean to on purpose. Has said, genuinely wish we had pulled the trigger on Norgard. He'd be a great squad player. One we needed, to be honest. We needed experienced players, know Frank system. He's much better than any CDM we have. Moose, the only thing I'm going to disagree with you on here is I don't think he would be a great squad player. I think he'd be a great first team player. For me, Norgard would have come straight into the team. And I think it would have been, for me, Norgard and Bentancur, Lubo, if I'm honest. Probably Norgard and Bentancur with Bergval rotating. I don't know. But he's gone to the Gooners and they've moved quickly. So fair play to them. I want to knock them, but for me, that's good business. 11 million euros is fantastic business. Big up to you, Moose. Really appreciate that. Haven't got time for any more questions, guys. Lubo, is there anything you would like to say before we end the show?
Trust in Daniel.
Anything in the world you could have said. Trust in Daniel. Love it.
Trust in Daniel.
Can you give us any news on the new channel? Yeah, I can give you news on the new channel. Can you bear with me 1 second? Sorry, just letting the wife know that if she waited 5 minutes, I'd go for a walk with the dogs with her. because the puppy is a bloody handful. Can you give us any news on the new channel? I can give you a lot of news on the new channel. Yes, the channel is going to be called the Spurs 5. It is Johnny, Lubo, Stel from Tottenham Away, Sean from Spurs Talk Show, and also this guy. And it's going to be called the Spurs 5, and we will be going live twice a week for panel shows. There'll be lots of transfer videos. There will be pre and post match videos. People like Lubo will take some videos whilst at the ground. People like me from the comfort of my own home while doing watch-alongs. And there will be a lot of debates, a lot of fiery debates, but grown up. So if you want a channel which sees people go to war, which sees people debate, which sees people have grown-up arguments, so to speak, which isn't an echo chamber, which has different opinions, you got it all under one roof. Isn't that right, Lubo?
Should be good. Looking forward to it. Should be edgy and punchy, that's for sure.
Edgy, and that's what we should have called the channel.
Edgy
and punchy.
Yeah.
Edgy and punchy. That's my prediction for Sean and Stel when they're debating Levy. How many times a show will Levy be debated? But yeah, so stick with us. So just so you know, those shows are going to be on a Thursday night at 8 p.m. and a Monday night at 10:30 p.m. as things stand. So the late Monday and then the prime time slot on the Thursday. So watch out. We're talking, we're designing logos, we're doing banners, we're getting it sorted, aren't we, Lubo? It's all happening.
We'll get there, don't worry.
Happening.
Everything comes to those who wait.
On that note, I'm going to go. I can hear my dogs losing their mind. Much love, Lubo. Love you as always. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Take
everyone.
care. Won't pay the mortgage. It bloody better. Take care, everyone. Much love. And as always, come on, you Spurs.